The next letter in the Russian or Cyrillic alphabet is called tvyordый znak. I'll go ahead and write out the name of this. It's not actually a letter, but I'll put the two dots on the yo. It is a sign. So tvyordый means hard, znak means sign. So tvyordый znak means hard sign. That's the name of the letter and has to do with its function in words. You will only see it in just a handful of Russian words. There aren't very many where you will encounter a tvyordый znak. In fact, there are no words that begin with a tvyordый znak. Therefore, there really is no capital form of tvyordый znak. So I'm just going to show you the lowercase. This is the print version, and you'll notice that this this bar across the top is rather wide and comes down. When we get to it, this is mягкий znak, which means soft sign. And it's very common, very popular in Russian words, and easily forgotten by non-Russian speakers of Russian. You'll notice that its top is not very wide. It's, in fact, just a straight up and down line, essentially, whereas the tvyordый znak has this longer bar across the top. So, tvyordый znak is written, it's never written at the beginning of a word, but that's okay, is written like this. So, you go up, you start, and it starts kind of in an odd spot, sort of starts right here. Goes up, it goes over, straight down, and then loops into a, well, as you look at this one, you see the great similarity into here, and then from here, this loops out, and essentially is a low out connect. So a tvyordый znak looks like this. Notice mine kind of comes back a little bit more as I write it. So kind of like a 6, almost a cross between a 7 and a 6, if you want to think of it that way. So this is tvyordый znak, and sometimes this top will be a little more curved, and this will be curved in. Kind of depends on your style. So this is tvyordый znak. So connecting into it, so coming off of an a, which is a low out, and then our tvyordый znak is essentially a high in. It's higher than the bottom, and so connecting up into it is really quite straightforward. So up like that, down, and then out. Okay. Now, coming off of a high out connect letter like an O into a tvyordый znak, you can see that there you don't have very far to go. So coming out of the O into a tvyordый znak, or out of a V into a tvyordый znak. This is a letter combination that you might actually see in Russian. A V and O tvyordый znak simply does not happen. So we can use a V as an example of a high out connect, going from a V into a tvyordый znak. So now, for connecting from a tvyordый znak into something else, I'm not going to start. I'm going to add an extra letter here. So I'm going to put a V and then our tvyordый znak. And you remember I said that it sort of loops out through here. If our next letter were a high in connect letter like an ah, then I would just make my connection, my v, tvrdy znak, and then just up into an a like that. So you can write a couple of those if you'd like, if you're following along on a handout, worksheet. Or, so here's our tvrdy znak. If we had a low connect letter, like a low in connect, like a yeah, then you see that we really don't have too far to go. Go ahead and finish a word that has tvrdy znak in it, vjechot. And notice coming into the yeah, as we saw with other connecting letters, sometimes we can just kind of cut that yeah a little. We just start it a little higher, and we get a word like vjechot. So this is tvrdy znak. Tvrdy znak only happens in the lowercase, and as I said before, is a very rare letter in Russian. So when you see it, you might have forgotten it if you're first learning the alphabet, but this is tvrdy znak.